Sonny arrives at the hospital and finds Dante walking through the halls and is happy to see him up. Dante gets back to bed and he just wants his strength back. Sonny says that will take time. Dante is glad he was able to sort things out regarding Jason and tells his dad what happened on the pier. He says he didn't know the guy who shot him and his body hasn't been found. He doesn't know why Jason was with him, but Jason was trying to get him help. Sonny explains he saw Jason and he's working as an informant for the FBI. Sonny states Jason is dead to him now. Dante thinks he should get the full story before writing him off. He says Jason was his right-hand man, he relied on him. Sonny says when he came back from Nixon Falls, Jason was marrying Carly and things were never the same. He thinks Jason isn't the Jason he knew. Sonny doesn't want to waste their time together talking about Jason. At Liz's place in a row, she calls upstairs for Jake to hurry up in the shower as she needs one before her shift. There is a knock at the door and Aiden answers, it's Jason. Jason recognizes him and says it's been a while. Aiden invites him in and Liz is surprised to see him. Jason hopes it's okay that he stopped by and wanted to thank her for being at this arraignment. Liz wanted to see for herself what was going on and congratulated him on having the charges dropped. He feels he probably should have come earlier, but she says the timing is better now. She apologizes for the mess, as she just got off a double shift and is head nurse now. Jason heard Epiphany died, along with Bobby and Britt, and so much has happened. Liz notes he looks different, and Jason says he is different. Jake comes downstairs, is shocked to see Jason, and asks why he is here. Jason came to see him. Jake asks his dad where he's been all this time. Jason explains he got into trouble and was forced to take a job he didn't want to. Jake asks why he didn't tell him he was alive. Jason assures him that he would have gotten in touch if he could have, and to please believe him. Jake asks, would you believe you? Jason knows he has a lot of explaining to do, and he just wants to talk to him. Jake again lashes out as his father. Jason swears he didn't have a choice in what happened and didn't want to leave him. Jason didn't mean to hurt him and decides to leave. Liz walks Jason out and tells him that she'd be lying if she didn't have the same questions Jake does. Despite everything, it is good to see him, and his death never felt real to her. Jason says Jake has every right to be angry, and he's glad he can express it. Liz says Jake is still a teenager and has fears, mostly of losing his father. Later, Liz sits down with Jake and knows this isn't easy for him, but it's also not good to be so angry at his dad. Jake doesn't think she should be okay with this and act like he didn't do anything wrong. Liz says that's not what she's doing, and she just needs him not to lash out at everyone around him. Jake asks if she knew his dad was alive and kept it a secret. Liz promises she didn't know. Jake feels guilty for feeling so sad when Dad died, but now he thinks it was easier having a dead father than having one who is alive and only commits crimes and has nothing to say to his family. Liz explains his dad is a man of few words, but he wouldn't have come today if he didn't want to see him, and she knows he wouldn't have stayed away on his own. Jake asks why he's like this. Liz says he's complicated, but Jason doesn't lie and doesn't make things up. Jake guesses Jason won't show up here again after today, but Liz says don't count on that, he'll keep showing up. At the Invader, the gossip columnist Adrian argues with Alexis that Nina made him associate editor, so he gets a say when and where his pieces run. As they argue, Diana arrives and asks if this is a bad time. Alexis is glad she came as she was just showing Adrian out and tells him to call Nina if he has an issue. Alexis vents to Diane that Nina is making her life a living hell now that Adrian is an editor. Diane has good news. She's done some digging and is getting closer to getting Alexis back to practicing law. Diane says one of the original attorneys on the legal board of her dismal, Fergus Byrne, had to recuse himself, as he was Neil Byrne's older brother. When he recused himself, he was replaced with his law partner, which is sketchy. She feels this charge of bias is another reason to get this overturned. Alexis never knew of or even met Fergus. Alexis says she's still not sure she should go through with this. As frustrating as this job is, she isn't up working till 3 a.m. or having nightmares of making a mistake that could get a client thrown in jail. Diane says the Alexis she knows never took the easy way out, and she loved a challenge. So what is this about? Alexis reveals Molly is worried about her sobriety, and if the appeal is dismissed, that she'll drink again. Alexis admits she's even considered